gonna be bigger than Kim K, man.
You, as an older brother, your sister gets leaked and your response is she's about to be the next Kim K.
Where you at, Berto?
We literally just covered the downfall of Julian Newman just a couple days ago. And here we are back again because Jaden Newman's cheeks were getting clapped, thrashed on the internet timelines. The Newman's family is probably having a very rough week right now. And normally I'd go into situations like this a lot more reserved because at the end of the day, if you are out here getting your cheeks clapped, bro, that's your business and your business only. Let's just put that out there. But what makes this situation so crazy is Jaden and Julian Newman's response to this whole thing is a lot more unhinged than we ever could have imagined. Let's get right into the video, man. Today we're going to be reacting to Jaden's leaks are actually worse than you think by that boy.
So you basically would never do it?
Nothing nudes or anything. Right now, no, I would never do it.
I don't know, Jaden. Based off of what I've seen this week on the internet, I don't know if you have those same morals. Imagine spending your children's formidable years going to the extreme, and I do mean extreme depths and lengths for them. Moving them to school to get a better education, putting them in private instruction in order for them to be the child prodigies that you see them to be. Hell, even starting up your own school in order for your children to be the most successful children that they could possibly be. That was the dream and aspiration of internet's father, Jaden Newman. And well, today, I don't think that it paid off. Now, look, I'm not saying that I condone leak culture at all. I actually think that it's a deplorable act. But are these even considered leaks since Julian Newman, the brother of Jaden Newman, is out there in the open saying this about his sister?
To look at the brighter side of things, on a positive note, she's gonna be bigger than Kim K, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and this is what I'm talking about. Like, how unhinged is this? You, as an older brother, your sister gets leaked and your response is she's about to be the next Kim K? Weirdo. By the looks of your hair, it looks like you're trying to be in the running to be the next Kim K. Like, what the f y'all got going on over there, man? I can understand you getting on the internet and kind of just being like, it sucks, you know, but it happens. She's a grown woman and, you know, she didn't intend for it to leak. So y'all just give her some grace, leave her alone, you know, some kind words and just, you know, maybe you don't want to speak on it because it's still putting you in an uncomfortable position as an older brother. But you over here talking about my little sister's about to be the next Kim K. This supporting the OnlyFans. What level of cuckery is this to get their cheeks clapped online? What the f is going on in 2026, bro? We are not living in the real world anymore.
The Newman family and father, Jamie Newman, spent years trying to turn Julian and Jaden into basketball prodigies. So how did they go from being basketball prodigies to a family that only seems to get the most attention when something is going wrong?
Redo the vid? Wait, what vid?
Oh my God.
One of the internet's favorite families is back into the spotlight, and this time it's not for the dribble tween hezzy antics of Julian Newman, the star prodigy from the yesteryear mixtape basketball era. This time is Jaden Newman. As a recent part of a bunch of leaks that came onto the internet, Jaden Newman's personal schmex tape got leaked to the internet. The reason why I'm putting so many quotes and emphasis around whether it was or was not leaked will be revealed later on in the video, but that is just as to how we got here today. And for research purposes, I promise you, research purposes strictly, I did come across these.
I seen it too, man. That shit did not look amateur, brother. Jaden Newman is a freaky frog, gang. That bitch is a professional, bro. Holy shit. And look, bro, I'm just keeping it a spade. I can't even say it was for research purposes. I'm scrolling on Twitter and it's everywhere on my timeline. I'm about to follow everybody. I don't know what works, how Twitter works, bro. The recommendation system is just fried. It's fried. Mind you, I don't use Twitter. I only go on Twitter when I'm looking for content to bring to y'all, bro. It was crazy. I cannot lie. If you're struggling with gooning addiction, I wouldn't recommend you go check it out, man. You're gonna relapse. It's gonna be bad for you.
Videos, and they were explicit as hell. Now, if these were truly leaked out and put to the internet without her permission, then, you know, I don't think that this is something that should have happened. But ultimately, we are here, and it is something that not even Julian Newman, Jaden Newman's brother, can avoid.
Y'all keep asking me some weird stuff. No one cares. I don't care. Like, get out of here with that, bro. Y'all only care because it's Jaden Newman. Second of all, what that got to do with me? me.
The pipeline from child internet star to being some sort of
don't
crash
care that you're
out is one that is escaping nobody at this point. For what it's worth, we haven't heard the Newman name for months now, but every single time that we hear it, it is for some sort of bad antics or, negative PR from what most people would perceive. And in a situation like this where somebody's intimate and personal details get leaked out to the internet, the best course of action probably, in my opinion, is to avoid it as a whole. But it seems as though the father's teachings have trickled down into the children, and Julian Newman is using this as some sort of complete promo tour.
She gonna be bigger than Kim K, man.
When I tell you how disgusted I was to find out that this clip was from a video that Julian Newman had posted, not just because he was promoting his sister's oath or leaks that she had out to the public, which means that I think that he had to have seen them in some way, shape, form, or fashion, but also because he used this AI thumbnail. That's a weird...
Yo, what? Yeah, this Julian Newman might actually be the internet's biggest clown right now.
Weirdo.
That's crazy. Bro, what the hell is going on? The truth, my side, what really happened? This shit ain't got nothing to do with you. Your sister didn't even come out and do this. Why are you moving like this, bro? Yeah, this is desperately looking for his next moment on the internet.
Right now. The sad part about all of this is that this is not the fame and notoriety that the Newman family sought out for when they graced the internet years and years ago. We got to remember that Julian Newman and Jaden Newman were quote unquote child prodigies. Jaden Newman was playing varsity basketball for her high school at just the age of 9 years old. She was even so good at basketball that she got the opportunity to do a 3-point contest with somebody that she looked up to and admired in Stephen Curry.
3-year-old Jaden Newman. Wait a minute, how old are you really?
10.
10.
10 years old. What is this?
What's that about?
Before we do this, can you sign this for my school?
Please excuse Jaden Newman from class today. She's beating Stephen Curry in a 3-point game.
And now fast forward to 2026, you have Jaden Newman being one of the worst fallen off childhood prodigies in the social media era. And a lot of people are scratching their heads trying to figure out how they could have gotten here. How do you go from being compared to the next greatest women's basketball player like Skylar Diggins, Candace Parker, Maya Moore, to now being compared by your own blood brother to Kim Kardashian for having your Schmex tape leaked? I think the answer is quite clear when you understand who their father is.
What's wrong with pushing your kids to be great?
There's nothing wrong with that.
Someone else is not going to tell us what our kids can't do because we know what they can do. People kill me when they just try to get on LeVar, get on myself, get on Richard Williams, or get anybody where we're just pushing your kids to be great.
The thing is though, bro, there's a difference between pushing your kid to be great and then pretty much pushing something upon them to be great at. I feel like the better approach to take when you're pushing your kids to be great is making sure that they understand discipline, right? So not allowing them to just quit when they don't feel like doing something. So for example, like Julian and Jada's case, make them show up to practice, make them, do the extra drills, everything that you did do within the basketball world, but also leave that door open for them to try other things. What if she wanted to play volleyball? What if she wanted to play soccer? What if she didn't want to play sports at all? Maybe she had a better act for, singing or drawing or some shit. Now, I don't have any kids, but if I did, I feel like how I'd go about it is definitely pushing opportunities for them to do different activities on them and making sure that they show up and commit to those things before just being like, oh, I don't like this, or I don't want to do this, because it gets hard living and breathing basketball from top to finish. Yeah, there's good qualities where that can quote unquote come out of it, but now that child has all that pressure on them with all the attention that they got. Honestly, it's no wonder they turned out the way they did, especially after not making it, because all that pressure, now you're just in a position where you're constantly having to prove yourself to show like, hey, I'm still that prodigy child. I didn't just fall off, rather than them just falling into something that they actually give a fuck about. Which, in 2026, we will never know because that opportunity is already passed. They're grown-ass adults now, still clinging on to the peak of their past.
If you've never seen that bald-headed man before with the big arched eyebrows, you would have thought that was their manager or their promoter or their coach, but that is the Newman family's patriarch, Jamie Newman. Now, I think it's quite clear to understand quickly based off of that clip how delusional Newman's thought process and ideology is when he's comparing himself to LeVar Ball and Richard Williams. LeVar Ball being the father of 3 children that made it to the NBA stage. Kids that are also, 6'3", 6'4", 6'5 plus. And then Richard Williams, who is the father of Venus and Serena Williams, 2 children that grew up to be tennis prodigies and some of, if not the greatest tennis players to ever grace the earth. Putting yourself in that lane is a little bit stretchy, but we get the overall point. That doesn't mean that the delusion doesn't still stand. Now, I want to be fair to Jamie Newman in his efforts to get his kids out there to another level. He put a quote in Bleacher Report saying, "No one understands what they're going through better than they do. They're on the same path. They don't want to be normal kids. They want to be extraordinary." And I think that's very respectable. Wanting your kids to be great and pushing them to that greatness isn't some sort of bad thing. I think that people loosely use terms like helicopter parent or tiger parent, and I don't want anybody wanting their children to be great to be labeled that just because. Now, with that being said, that is not Jamie Newman. Jamie Newman is a delusional parent who put his children in the limelight with unrealistic expectations, unrealistic hopes of success in certain lanes. I mean, he himself is about 5'6", 5'5", and he had these expectations that is...
I hate when people try to act like height is just not a thing when it comes to basketball, bro. Like, bro, you have to be more than extraordinary to make it into the NBA at 5'6", 5, whatever, however tall Julian Newman is. Bro, you have to be, I'm talking about, you probably can't miss. You can't miss. You can't turn the ball over. You can't make no mistakes at that height. Because it just doesn't make sense, especially now, bro. We got Wemby coming down the court at 7 foot plus. What are you doing against this?
Wemby getting it back.
Huss!
Showing off the handle. The step back, tough three.
Nigga, he's 7'2". You can't do nothing. And if you're guarding him, you're literally guarding his ball sack. His ball sack is on your head top. And that would pretty much be his entire career anywhere in the D1 to NBA level if he were to make it in basketball. But he, again, there's a reason why he couldn't.
Kids would be better than, if not just as good as, some of the best basketball talent in the world. I mean, when we watched the footage, the skills didn't match. He compromised his children's integrity for the sake of success. People had many concerns about Jamie Newman's exposure to his kids to social media in the real world. In that same Bleacher Report article, Jamie Newman reported that he had the passwords to both kids' Instagram accounts and knew that 15-year-old Jaden was receiving sexual messages and pictures from strangers. He says, and I quote, "She shows me her messages. I see 5 from the past 24 hours that are either graphic, sexual proportions, or requests for the type of photos and videos that got leaked. Rude photographs." Jamie Newman says it's a trade-off. "I like having a lot of followers, but the downside is guys who say weird or gross stuff, I mostly try to ignore it." Now, I'm not going to say Jamie Newman exactly instilled that type of thought process and philosophy into Jaden, but if you're seeing these things come across your daughter's phone and I'm hearing her say that type of phrasing, that it's a trade-off for the social media success that she's getting.
Yeah, bro, that's nasty, bro. At 15?
You can put the pieces together. Was that enough for Jamie Newman to stop putting his children out there on social media? No. Remind you, he was supposed to be training his 2 young prodigies to be elite basketball players. But at the end of the day, all it did was expose them to a life that they probably weren't ready for. Neither of them lived up to the success that their father had laid out for them. And now in 2026, Jamie Newman is being clowned for his endeavors, whether it be parenting or coaching.
They started off saving to the old run.
Jamie Newman.
Stay in the mix.
I hate that.
They are clowning this guy.
Weirdo.
Damn.
His ass is back at work today.
Like what happened?
Like I stated earlier, there's no problem with a parent wanting their child to be as successful as possible, but ultimately that means being realistic with what they can.
Yeah, he's cooked, bro. There's no coming back from this. Newman family, their name is tarnished after this, bro. God damn, this is a deep, deep, dark hole of embarrassment.
And can't do. And I don't think that that's what Jamie Newman did. But what I do think that he did was understand the value in monetization and the celebrity that he could ultimately make his children into being.
What was it that made you realize, yo, my kids, we could monetize their abilities right now? Like
the first couple of years, I think, when they were, the prodigies, they were prodigies. And when they did that, I was like, hey, we got something here.
I don't know, gang. Does that not sound kind kind of strange and weird to anybody else but me? Raise your hand in the comment section if that sounds weird to you. Jaden Newman created 2 celebrities, but the problem is that the only part of his plan that seemed to work was not the basketball, but it was the creation of them being famous. And so while Jaden Newman is dealing with the ugly sides of being famous right now, Julian Newman has been dealing with the ugly sides of being famous for years at this point. Julian Newman was the face of the internet experiment that became the Newman family. For what it's worth, he was one of the forefront fathers of the internet tape basketball era, getting known for being somebody
Good time. Ended up getting in a mixtape one time. You want to see my mixtape real quick? Years ago, Florida Flat, sir. Yes, sir. This was my first mixtape, man. Well, this isn't my mixtape, but the team's mixtape. Look at that young Bert. Shit, I look. Why do I look like that? My John Collins. Our team was crazy, bro. Now I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna just keep it a stack with y'all. I was the best player on my high school team, but I was not the best player on this team. You know, we had hella go to the NBA on this team, man. I was playing with them real dogs, and I'm just gonna keep it a stack. But I did get my little bit of highlights in. Hey, my John Collins. I wonder what Sandro's up to these days. Here we go. Your boy, Bert. Let's do it. Your boy.
Where you at, Bert?
Hey, with the reverse. J in your face. Hey. That's it, bro. That's all I got.
Worked. He didn't start playing any sort of collegiate basketball until 2024. And to be quite honest with you, I think that school was there to just sell tickets. Through the first 3 games, Julian Newman averaged 3 points per game, 16.7% from the field, and just 0% from 3. The conversation surrounding Julian Newman went from how good will he be to what happened to Julian Newman very, very fast.
I give you one.
You'll give me one?
It's one.
I'll take it.
Oh, that's pump faking.
Come over.
You gotta take something away.
No way.
There you go. That's good defense.
No way.
To get in the bag.
The community is not gonna let you lift this down.
Good defense. Get strong. Get strong.
No balance.
God, he's
Well, maybe the
playing with
professional
him.
career wouldn't work. You know, NBA, overseas, not in the cards for Julian Newman, but creator basketball steps on the scene. And through the guidance of his team, including his father, Julian Newman would, let's just say, make an attempt to get into the professional creator scene, but ultimately through years of tolerating or promoting or hyping the bad behaviors, not just the on-court ability, but also, you know, the hothead temperament of it all, Julian Newman would flame out quick, fast, in a hurry in his professional content creator career. Now, you've probably seen this person before, even if you didn't know that it was exactly Julian Newman. 1, because you may have not noticed this 5'3" content creator basketball guy and didn't really realize what the relevancy was. And 2, because he probably looks burnt out. But long story less long, he will become the laughing stock of the content creator sphere. It gets so bad that streamers start inviting him onto their platforms just to provoke him, poke the bear of it all, because they know that he will rage out. They know that he will give them some sort of clip. They know that he will give them some sort of moment.
Bro, but that shit ain't cool.
CMB. They really get into a laughing stock.
The attention.
Turned himself into a laughing stock, though. But again, if we go deeper, it definitely crawls back to his father, man.
Never disappeared. Why? Because Julian Newman will become a spectacle in more than just the basketball lane. He took his talents to the ring as well. I don't even want to go into too deep detail about what happened in his short-lived influencer boxing career. And it's not so much about the fight, you know, really concerned me. It's the fact that he was embarrassed every step of the way. Everyone looked at him as somebody who can give them a clip, somebody who can give them a moment. And for what it's worth, he fed into it every single time. He went from being this basketball prodigy to a reality show character, to this creator hooper, to influencer boxer. But the whole time, I think all of those were just ways to kind of hide the fact that he was the internet's punching bag, content creators, court jester. And the only reason why I see him continuously feeding into this narrative, just like I see his sister continuously feeding into this narrative, is because they have a father who was more worried about the monetization as opposed to setting realistic expectations.
Oh, the prodigies. And when they did that, I was like, hey, we got something here.
The father that was more worried about the dollars and cents as opposed to checking on his kids' mental stability. The father who was willing to put his children in compromising and even embarrassing situations because there was a check always attached to it for him. It was another opportunity for him to keep the flame going on the 15 seconds of it all. That's how you end up with 2 children who are getting embarrassed on social media in their own respective ways. 1, because there are this failed creator hooper that is labeled as a crash out, and now anytime somebody wants to associate with with him is because they think that they can get a fight or some sort of rage baity clip. And that same person who is promoting the other child, who is this OF star who is doing this contradiction gimmick, but ultimately feeding into the narrative and having their brother promoted.
She gonna be bigger than Kim K, man.
Now, I think on surface, that reaction sounds like the most ridiculous thing in the world. Your sister's nudes just got leaked to the internet, and your first response is that she could be the internet's Kim K? Okay. But if you look at the family tree in history, then I think it's totally understood. This is the Newman experience. Jamie taught his kids early on that attention creates these opportunities. Quote, the mixtapes set him up for success. That was about Julian Newman going and playing basketball, which I think is a miss because I would think that the training would set him up for success, not necessarily the mixtapes, but I don't know. Jaden Newman learned that even if you're getting attention, it could be very costly, but the trade-off is ultimately worth it. I mean, she's the one who said it after revealing that at just the age of 15 years old, people were sending her graphic images. Julian spent his years experiencing that trade-off. Not necessarily the same one where anybody is sending him any graphic images, but ultimately, you know, his public attempts at being successful for basketball made him the internet's court jester. And now Jaden Newman is going through that same thing where she is getting leaked, which again, I don't know if I would consider it to be a leak, especially because these are the same videos and photos that are on her OnlyFans that she is selling. I do think that this is a play no different than the Kim Kardashian.
What? Okay, so this is news to me. It's the Lincolns and literally in her bio, exclusive content. Wow, this is what she does. She's a sex worker. Now I'm curious to see what she actually had to say to all this. We know what her brother said, but what was her actual response to this?
Yeah, I don't really know about the situation that is going on. I unfortunately got hacked. Yeah, don't worry, I'll find out. But yeah, that's all I'm speaking.
You got hacked from the content that you sell. Yeah, to some level of degree, it's invasion of your privacy. It's private content. So somebody, quote unquote, leaking it is bad for business. But bro, you're a sex worker, gang. Like, what's the big deal?
About this one thing, I just see the comments spamming that, and yeah, I'm obviously aware. Yeah, someone hacked into my Snapchat, whoever hacker, and then yeah, or I don't know, whatever. But yeah, that's all I'm saying. I already know when I keep going live, people are just gonna spam us, so for sure, because I'm gonna go live.
This is a complete clown show, and then we have more context here now of Julian Newman really doubling down. He's doubling down on this shit, promoting his sister's OF. This has got to be a form of cuckery. It's got to be. But it's blood, family, and sister. This is some sweet home Alabama shit. We got to come up with a new term for this. What are we calling this?
It's just weird how, like, all these dudes be acting like, yo, first of all, don't get no pussy, man. You can't because, bro, it's not even about that, right? And I say that to say, because what is you trying to...
If it's not about that, then why did you say it? What was the point of pointing out y'all get no like your sister's getting clapped on the internet, gang?
I am another man about a video you seen. Like, bro, what is you looking at videos for anyway, gang? You know what I'm saying? You should be getting some like realistic play, right? Like, what's going on? Like, that's another conversation, no? It just proves how weak, you know what I'm saying, how weak it is out there for y'all, man. I feel bad, to be honest. I feel hella bad. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't really care. Do I want my sister out there looking like that? Nah, of course not. But it ain't her fault. Is she not the only female out?
She's selling it. What are you talking about? And you said that she's gonna be the next Kim K. Hey, bro, watch out. This might have actually lost all his brain cells, man. That's all I got for y'all today, man. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Where you at, family? Y'all let me know what y'all think about this situation in the comments, man. Do y'all feel bad? Again, I think on a surface level, whatever you do in private should stay in private, but this girl literally sells her cat on the internet, bro. If I'm gonna keep it a spade, it's almost like it was only a matter of time before her shit ended up on the internet, no?
Where you at, Berto?